It's a beautiful day here in the Poconos. We're going to be doing some barbecue ribs today, and you can either do a full rack of ribs, you could do St. Louis style ribs, or you could do baby back ribs. The technique I'm going to use is going to be the same for all of these different cuts of ribs. The thing that you can do with ribs is you can do a dry rub, you can smoke ribs, you can do a barbecue rib. What we're doing today is I'm going to braise these ribs in the oven to render out some of the fat, make them tender, and then we will do them on the grill. Now what I have here is a full rack of pork ribs. This will also work a little different technique if you use short ribs. The secret to this is we're going to trim off a little bit of the fat from the back of the ribs, the underside. The ribs will be a little bit fat. We don't need all of this fat on the ribs, although fat equals some flavor, but we don't want real greasy ribs. So there seems to be a fair amount of fat on these ribs. Very often there's an awful lot of fat on the ribs because that's how your grocery store makes money, by charging you for fat that you're not going to eat. So we've taken our boning knife, trimmed off some of this fat. On the underside of the rib you'll find that there's a silver skin, which is tough. And this is a secret, is to kind of remove the silver skin. You want to take and start to peel it off on the edge. You're not going to be able to grab this with your fingers, so you're going to take a paper towel and you can strip off the silver skin. You can see this is very, very tough. It's not something you can cut through. It may come off in a couple of different pieces. Paper towel works exceptionally well for pulling this off. When you have all the silver skin off, you don't want to take off the membrane that's underneath the silver skin, which attaches the bones. If you take off this membrane, when you cook the ribs ribs will just completely fall apart. We're going to take and put this in a roasting pan. We're going to pour some hot water over this. I've preheated an oven to 350 degrees. We're going to cover the ribs with aluminum foil, sealing up the pan. And we will bake these for approximately a couple of hours and until they become very tender. And I'll cut these into portions and we will finish them off on the grill. Now these can be done way ahead of time and then cooked on the grill hours later or the next day. And then we're going to place these in our 350 degree oven. And we'll see you back here in a couple hours. Okay, about 2 hours and 20 minutes has elapsed. We'll pull our ribs out of the oven and see how we've done. I'm going to uncover them from the far side so again we don't get blasted with steam in our face. I have here a fork and we're going to see how the meat is, and it seems to be pretty tender. So we're going to take our ribs out, let them cool off in another pan, and then these will be ready to be cut and barbecued on the grill. So you just set these out of the braising liquid in another pan, and we will let these cool for a couple of hours. They can be refrigerated, or once they're cold, just put on the grill. I've preheated my grill, portioned the ribs out into individual portions. I'm doing 3 portions today. We're going to put our ribs on the grill. And we will get these to heat through. I have set aside some barbecue sauce to baste the ribs with. After they've been heated through, we'll flip them a couple of different times. If you're using a sauce that has a high amount of sugar in it, you don't want to add your sauce until the very end, because the sugar will burn and you're just not going to have a good flavor. If you're going to do more of a South Carolina barbecue sauce, something that has more vinegar to it, you can apply the sauce on a little bit earlier. You can use your favorite bottled sauce, you can make your own sauce. Everybody's tastes are a little bit different when it comes to barbecue. We're going to take our ribs and turn them at a 45-degree angle just to get some marking on the ribs. Try and make them look a little bit pretty. Should pretty much release themselves and not stick. And we'll close our lid to keep the heat in. We're cooking roughly at 500 degrees right now. So these aren't going to take very, very long to heat up. We've cooked the ribs on the one side. We're going to flip them over. You see, they're just starting to get a nice little bit of crispness to it. You have the marking lines from the grill. We'll flip this other one over. I'll turn the heat up a little bit on this side. We're going to take, while the bottom side is cooking, we're going to take and baste with a little bit of barbecue sauce on the tops. You may want to use a basting brush with a little bit longer handle, because when you're cooking at 500 degrees, I gotta tell you, it's a little bit hot. Okay, so we're going to close the lid on that and let it cook for a minute. We'll take and turn the bottoms afterwards like we did with the tops. We'll flip them over, put a little barbecue sauce on the bottom, and then flip it back over and cook the bottoms again. Okay, we're going to turn these again at the 45-degree angle. See if we get some marking on the bottom, even though it won't be seen. And we'll close the lid, cook them for about a minute. We're going to flip these over to the barbecue side. Okay, put the barbecue sauce on the bottoms. I'm not going to let this cook too long on the tops because we don't want this to burn. Just want to get a nice little bit of the glaze on the ribs. I'll turn them over, let the bottoms cook for a minute, put a little bit more sauce on the top with the lid closed, and then we will be good. Let's see where we're at here. These are looking good. And I'll just put a little bit more sauce on the tops. And we'll close the lid and let it cook for... The bottom sides are heated up now. We're going to pull our ribs off the grill and put them on the plate. And I will show you in a minute what the finished product is like. Okay, there you have it. Our barbecued pork spare ribs, corn cake, and homemade coleslaw. Perfect for a 4th of July.